Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for the week of November 15th, I hope. But let's see what we got going on for you this week. We're going to do like a little bit. I'm going to do things like a little bit differently in this spread. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out all the cards, and we are going to kind of look at the whole entire reading as a general reading, if that makes sense. Then, after I cover all of that real quick, we are going to dive a little bit deeper. I'm going to look at your first row as what is coming in next for you, Pisces, in any area of your life, doesn't matter. Your middle row is going to be any messages from your future self, and your last row is going to be anything unexpected coming in for you as well. Finally, I'm going to pull 3 yes or no question cards at the end. So I wanted to do something that was like a little bit more complex, and to provide a little bit more detail in these general readings in these weekly readings is what I should say to you here, Pisces. So right off the bat, just putting the entire reading together here, Pisces, you have the Empress as your center card here. And, the Empress is, of course, jumping out to me. As I always say, to me, the center card doesn't always necessarily represent, to me, it's not always the most important card. But for you, the Empress is the best card you have here, pretty much. Although you have really good cards. It's a pretty good reading, I would say to you. And but I feel like this is kind of like the overall general energy for you this week of the 15th is the Empress. We even see this change of the seasons card. And the Empress, to me, represents going from winter to spring. She represents like that change where we are coming out of the cold, where things are improving in our life. And kind of like in general, I feel like that's what's going on for you this week, is that you're going through a change, which we see here with the World card. The World card to me is a birth. It's like not really a rebirth, but it is a new beginning, because the World represents completion, represents reaching the end of a cycle. In the major arcana, we make it to the World card and we just start over again as the Fool. So I kind of get these like starting over vibes for you here, Pisces, in your reading, where a lot of you could be experiencing a new beginning. And that's like one of the first things that's jumping out to me here. It kind of has second chance vibes as well, although I would say that looking at this 10 of Wands right here, if you're kind of experiencing a second chance, or if you're getting a second chance to do something you've wanted to do, I feel like you're going to have to be a little bit more bold, a little bit more assertive this time around with the Queen of Wands. Because the Queen of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, really going for what you want, right? But she, there's nothing really protecting her. That's always one thing that really stands out to me about the Queen of Wands energy. She's the only Wands court card that doesn't have any salamanders on her card. The Page, the Knight, and the King, they all have salamanders just somewhere on the card. And the salamanders represent protection from fire. So it's like she's not, protected from the risk necessarily, but so she like has to be bold. She has to be assertive. She really has to kind of like push it and go for what she wants. The Seven of Swords here as well is kind of jumping out at me. I feel like the Seven of Swords is talking about kind of the risk that you could be taking by, kind of moving towards some sort of second chance, or, taking some sort of risk here. Seven of Swords does represent handling things with care, or being in a situation where you have to kind of like handle things delicately, if that makes sense, Pisces. So I do feel a lot of you this week are, you could be in some delicate situations. And what I would say here is that your next card here, Pisces, is the Ace of Swords coming up right next to it. So, we see the Two of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands in this reading. And again, this type of energy kind of represents juggling or needing to juggle things. The Ace of Swords really tells me that you will be victorious in whatever it is that you are juggling. I feel like you will be victorious in whatever it is that you are having to handle with care. One last thing that I really notice about this reading, for your general energies here, is Six of Pentacles, Justice card, and then this diagonal right here, Justice, Empress, Ace of Swords. And not only that, you have this Deep Knowing card in this first row, which we're about to cover. And this to me really, just putting that all together, that is really jumping out at me as some sort of inner truth, like something that will lead to Empress status. Empress status is true abundance, but it's also the ability to create endlessly. She can create whatever she wants endlessly. She comes from infinite source abundance. There is a waterfall behind her, and that waterfall kind of represents that infinite source abundance type energy that we all come from. And she understands that. So she can create things in nonstop. And, I feel that for some of you, but I feel like you're entering into a situation that is truly endless in a good way, meaning that there is endless abundance. It's like some sort of truth coming out here as well, but it's like, your inner truth. I feel like the truth is that that you accomplishing something here with the World card, or you putting work into something with the Ten of Wands here. It's like that it might be a little bit of a burden, that a situation is going to require work, but I feel like at the same time, it's like the type of energy that will come from it. Damn, Pisces, love it. This is very, very good. So let's dive deeper in your first row here on what is coming in for you next. At this time, you have the deep knowing card. Like I already said, I feel like you already know that something is going to be extremely abundant for you here, Pisces. As I love saying, is the juice worth the squeeze? You have the Two of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, Justice. It's like you're like, I see you weighing things up here in this first row. Like literally every single card in your first row. Crazy. Two of Pentacles, look at it. It's like he's juggling things. He's trying to figure out what is worth it and what isn't worth it. I kind of get the feeling, and I'm pretty sure I've said this to you before, that like I feel like something in your life, Pisces, is getting harder to ignore. And what I mean by that is it's almost like, something, like I feel like something is sweetening the pot, so to speak. It's like, if you have a job and it sucks, it's like there could be another job over here or a business idea you have. And I feel like day by day, it just looks better and better and better. It's like every single time you look at it, you're like, that looks like a better idea to me. And I think something is getting more and, kind of like more and more better for you. And like kind of like sweeter and sweeter. Could be a job, could be a relationship as well. And I feel like your confidence is increasing in this row here, Empress to the Queen of Wands. Like I feel like you're becoming more confident day by day, and I feel like you're starting to notice that this week, and that's why it's coming up this week as well. So I feel like as far as what's next for you is like you're kind of noticing that something is like getting better and better. And it's like and like I said, there's no doubt about it. You're going to have to put the work in with that Ten of Wands, right? You're going to maybe experience some burdens as well. But again, I like to encourage people to push through the burdens. Again, I think we make the mistake of looking at extra responsibilities as a bad thing when they could lead to something much, much better in our life. So, I feel like that Ten of Wands is kind of more encouraging you to push forward. Six of Pentacles here, again, bringing things into balance. And, he's kind of like balancing things out here. He's holding a balance in his hands. And then you have the Justice card. So clearly balancing things out. I feel like that is kind of what's next. But I feel all in all that really what this is saying is that, again, it's like something looks better than the current situation you're in. Or, again, maybe you don't have love and you see a love situation like a person or an opportunity for you to find love, and it's like getting sweeter and sweeter and sweeter is how I'm seeing this. But it doesn't even have to be love. Again, this could be like a business idea, could be something you want to work on as well. I do feel that you will be extremely busy next year, Pisces, but it's going to be a good thing because the things that you're working on, whether it's love, health, money, spirituality, it's like they're going to be filling you back up. So it's not like you won't be like exhausted or anything like that. With the Two of Pentacles, Pisces, you have the King of Wands here. So clearly, very bold, assertive energy, divine counterparts going like this here, Pisces, King and Queen of Wands. Doesn't matter what gender you're attracted to. Could be the same gender, other gender, whatever. To me, just the two are kind of divine counterparts. So, and very passionate. To me, the King and Queen of Wands there's more. It's like there's a lot more desire in the relationship with those two. So it could be a fire sign. It could also just be any sign. It could just be a person you have a lot of desire for. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Two of Cups, Pisces. Are you kidding me? If this is love, this is like a perfectly balanced situation, is what I would say to you. I mean, in reality, you do have this great big love card up here at the top. So, it doesn't really surprise me that there is love showing up here. Again, for those of you that don't want love, Two of Cups is you and your higher self. The Staff of Hermes is between the two people there on the Two of Cups. And the Staff of Hermes is a card of communication, but it could also just be you communicating with yourself. I think the important thing with the Two of Cups is that both people, they're meant to look different. They are meant to look like two different people. That is like part of the Two of Cups. That's the point. So it's like if you're working on a project or business, it's like your higher self might have different ideas than you. What I would say here is that your higher self is this side right here. It's like the more playful looking side, the less formal looking side. And you do have the Seven of Swords here. So I feel like if you're working on any projects or businesses, like having more fun or bringing more play into the situation is going to be a good idea. With the Justice card, you have the Sun. Damn, Pisces, this is going to be a good week for you for sure. So I feel like what's next is like true happiness. And that Deep Knowing card, I feel like, is just saying you know exactly what situation is going to bring true happiness in for you. So, I would just follow that for sure. Next, in the area of any messages from your future self, this is basically we're asking your future self what you should be doing at this time. You have this great big love card. So even outside of love, I would be moving towards things that you love to do, plain and simple. Again, I've said this a million times. I'm probably going to say it a million more to you, Pisces, mostly because of your astrology. I mean, if you are doing things that you love, you are going to attract love into your life. You're going to make more money. You're going to, be more successful. You're going to be more spiritually connected, probably more intuitive as well. So it's like if you're doing the things you love, that's what's going to happen. I think maybe the challenge for you is judging what you love to do. Again, like I always, I always make the joke about the worm farms, right? It's like if what you love to do is to have a worm farm, you might be saying like, how is that going to make me money? How is that going to blah blah blah? Doesn't matter. You don't need to worry about that right now. I would just get to work is what I would say here, because it's like the answers will follow. Like I said, by doing what you love right now with the astrology, it's going to attract all the answers that you need. So I would be doing whatever it is or working on whatever it is that you love at this time, because it's going to lead to a lot of success. You have the Seven of Swords, the Empress, in the World here. I get like it's very weird. There's basically no air here except for the Seven of Swords here, Pisces. Again, we have the Seven of Swords, Empress, and the World. You could look at the World card as Aquarius, because Aquarius is in this top corner over here. So you could look at it as air. There's clouds around the world as well, so we could look at that as air sign. You do have the Seven of Swords in this row, but I kind of get this very deep thought, like I get this energy of like contemplation here, Pisces. You don't have any cards of contemplation in this row, but I get this very, like, you are deep in thought. You are really thinking things over on a very deep level. And I feel like you're trying to be careful with the Seven of Swords. He is kind of like stealing those swords from an army that's in the background of the card. He is trying to prevent them from using those swords against him in battle. But it's like he can't get all the swords. There's still two swords behind him. And, it kind of represents needing to make sure that you're not being a lone wolf. It also kind of represents the fact that things will never be perfect. There will never be, you can never make something perfect. You can never make it the right time to do anything. So as I always say to you, Pisces, I feel like your future self is like saying, hey, you're like about to, gain Empress status here, Pisces. Clearly, Jupiter in your sign next year. You're about to gain Empress status, but you also need to make sure that you're kind of like maintaining it. As I always say, it's like, a lot of astrologers say, astrology isn't a prison sentence. I get tons of comments from people that are always like, I was born with this, I'm screwed. I was born with that, I'm screwed. I'm like, no. I'm like people like, you look at people like Oprah, for example. She has a terrible chart, right? And she's extremely successful. Bill Gates, terrible chart. And it doesn't matter. I always get some comment about, how Bill Gates is evil. I'm like, trust me, I'm right there. I think he's a reptile alien, just like that robot Zuckerberg, right? I think they're probably, who knows what they're doing, right? I don't know. But what I would say here is that, it doesn't matter what you think of those people, but what I'm saying is their astrology is terrible. So, what I think here is that, it's basically saying it doesn't matter, like, what is going on in your life. I feel like you need to focus. But also where I was going with that is that we can have really good astrology, but if we don't take advantage of it, if we don't use the energy, then we're not going to see progress. So let's see what is going on here. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Queen of Swords. Your back is on the past. I feel like you're making a change once and for all here, Pisces, and there's your contemplation energy, your thoughtful energy. I think things are finally clear. It's almost like you finally see a way out, is what your future self is saying to me here. What do you see? I don't know what you see your way out of. Look at a death card, a change. Again, that would make sense. The sun is rising between the two pillars that are on the moon in the background there on the death card. You have the sun right here. This is definitely a victory going on here, but I feel like it's a change. You're seeing your way out of something, are the words that I'm getting. With the world, you have the Six of Swords. Again, seeing your way out, moving forward, moving on to calmer shores. Still in choppy waters. Things aren't perfect, right? But I still feel like you're making a lot of progress, and your future self wants you to know that. Definitely an energy here of needing to tap into your guides. Two of Cups with the Six of Swords. Six of Swords, this is like a guide in the back of the boat here, Pisces. So I would do whatever you do to connect with your guides or to connect with your higher self or, whatever the case may be. I feel like that'll be very helpful this week. Finally, in the area of the unexpected, you have the Change of Seasons card. I do feel like things are going to be changing for you very rapidly. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this with you in the past, that for a lot of you, it's like once you get to work, I think it's going to be very, very surprising how much, how quickly things are going to change for you, whether it's in love, business, or money, or spirituality, or, whatever area of your life you're trying to improve. I feel like this is the realization you need to have right here. 10 of Wands. Sometimes I think people get used to a situation being the way that it is for too long. Like if you don't have money, for example, or if you're struggling with money, we can get kind of like caught in the struggle. That is the 10 of Wands. Then it's like, but I think what we don't realize is that while we're in the struggle, we're gaining a bunch of wisdom. We're gaining a bunch of answers. We are learning things. It's like we're not just struggling for nothing. We're struggling to get somewhere. He is struggling to get to the village that is in front of him there, Pisces. So if you've been struggling in any area of your life, I feel like what's unexpected is that this is like the end of the struggle. Ace of Swords here. And so there's clearly some sort of victory. The sword is above the mountains. On the Ace of Swords, it kind of represents the fact that you're going to be overcoming something. It's also above this 10 of Wands here, Pisces. So, damn, Pisces, I really like where this reading is going. You have this Queen of Wands. Again, I feel like also what's unexpected is the amount of confidence that you are going to be gaining because of this. It's kind of like one of those things where it's like I feel like you have a victory and it just leads to another and another and another. Probably because whatever this victory is that's coming in for you is something that you just didn't think was possible. It's like I think once we prove something to ourselves that that we thought was impossible as possible. That was a tongue twister for some reason. Once we do that, I think we can become very, very successful. With the Ace of Swords here, you have the Hierophant and the Nine of Cups. Definitely a wish dream coming true for you here, Pisces. This could be marriage, for those of you that are looking for love. I do feel like there could be love coming in for you here, Pisces. I kind of get like a flip-floppy energy for you around love in general. Just because, I feel for some of you, maybe you didn't think you could have it. And, it's like kind of like going back and forth here. But I do feel there's love coming in for you. And, it's definitely like a wish or wish fulfillment. With the 10 of Wands, you have the 6 of Wands. Success, Pisces, major win coming in for you. This is probably the best week you've had in a while, Pisces, is what I would say. As far as the cards are concerned, kind of makes sense to me. Again, we're past the retrogrades. Jupiter's finally getting closer to our sign. It's not going to retrograde out until next year. Or it's not going to move out of our sign. It's going to move into Aries next year, I should say. So it's going to stay through. Things could be getting better. This kind of has, I kind of am feeling that maybe you had a preview of this energy, in the springtime or something like that. Maybe you had a really good month in the spring. It's almost like we're returning to where we left off in the spring here, Pisces, somewhere around there. And with the Queen of Wands, you have the 5 of Wands. Yeah, I feel like you're willing to kind of conquer or I feel like you're willing to deal with pretty much anything right now, Pisces, with that energy. Damn, I really like this reading for you. A lot of happiness, a lot of good stuff coming in for you here, Pisces. So that's that. We're gonna pull 3 yes or no question cards here, Pisces. I'm gonna switch to this one. We're gonna do 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Feel free to pause this reading if you need time to think of your questions. But 1, 2, 3. For question number 1, you have the Queen of Swords here, so I would say yes. I feel like you're very clear on something now. I mean, that was kind of like one of the main energies I felt of the reading, was not really clarity, but kind of, but more in the sense of like balance. And what I mean by that is like where to put your energy, which we discussed in the first row. That's kind of like what I'm getting here. For question number 2, you have the Two Wands. Yes, I would make the move here, Pisces. I feel like you need to take the leap of faith. Two Wands always reminds me of the Seven of Swords, which you have right here. And the Two Wands energy is kind of like an energy of needing to not wait for the perfect moment, which we kind of talked about, like I said, with that Seven of Swords. And with card number 3, I would say yes, Queen of Pentacles, as long as you're focused. Queen of Pentacles, she's focused on the pentacle. She's not focused on the rabbit here. She's not focused on all the worries, on all the fears, on all the things that could happen. So I would say yes. Putting this all together, really good reading, Pisces. I feel like you're becoming more resourceful. And I also feel like you're kind of like having your little glow up again here with that Empress energy and the sun. So it looks really good. So thank you for being here, Pisces. I really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.